Hello and welcome to QUT News.
Hello.
The devastating wildfires raging through California are now the deadliest in the state's history. At least 15 people have been killed and 2,000 homes destroyed.
Dozens of blazes have been burning out of control across the state since Sunday. Intense fires in the north of the state have been particularly deadly, with all 15 confirmed fatalities occurring in California's famous wine country. Among those killed, a 100-year-old man and his 98-year-old wife died in Napa Valley near San Francisco. More than 100,000 acres have been blackened statewide, with hundreds of people missing or injured. On the outskirts of Los Angeles in Anaheim, at least 24 homes were destroyed or damaged by a fast-moving, out-of-control blaze.
Really grabbed anything I would have grabbed had I had more time, you know. We grab each other, we grab our pets, grab some pictures, some of his favorite toys, and we're gone.
Vice President Mike Pence declared a major disaster for California and has offered federal support to Governor Jerry Brown.
To California, we say through this declaration, we are with you. Our prayers are with you, and we will be with you every day until we put the fires out and stand with these families to rebuild these communities.
The Anaheim blaze in Orange County is thought to be largely under control, thanks to a huge effort by firefighters.
There's 1,100 personnel here. We have 14 helicopters, 6 fixed-wing aircraft, and just a lot of boots on the ground and a lot of drops from the air, and we're just protecting all these homes.
Authorities are hoping cooler weather and lighter winds will help bring the blazes under control. Tom Copley, QUT News.
Homeowners in 3 states could be paid to turn off electric appliances during peak periods. The Commonwealth wants to prevent summer power outages.
Energy and Environment Minister Josh Frydenberg says the government will subsidise residents if they reduce their energy usage.
They may see a payment of $25 or more per event where they're asked to turn down their appliances and their power use.
That will come off their bills. The government says the scheme will reduce energy overload and benefit consumer wallets.
It's a win-win for the public and for the energy system.
It's understood the federal government will contribute nearly $30 million to support the benefit, whilst the New South Wales government will be contributing $7 million. Energy companies may also run special events to benefit participating homeowners.
Some may offer a reduction in tariffs. Some may give you a free day or a free weekend of electricity.
Queenslanders have not yet been offered the same benefit, and those who have off-peak or peak smart appliances may have their equipment controlled automatically to save power. Zach Adkins, QUT News.
An out-of-control semi-trailer has left a trail of destruction in the Hunter Valley. It burst into flames with several locals injured, one critically.
The fertiliser truck was allegedly stolen from a service station more than 100 kilometres away. It eventually came to a grinding halt as it careered through the main street of Singleton.
A truck come down the inside and we just seen it plough straight into the building.
Police officers had tried to stop the vehicle by deploying road spikes, but it wasn't enough. The truck swerved on, eventually crashing into a local pub and bursting into flames. Some locals described it as a war zone, with thick black smoke and widespread debris.
And big fireball shot out and a guy got out and run across the road. That's all we seen.
5 people were injured, 1 seriously. The male driver was arrested. James Ives, QUT News.
Driving from Brisbane to the Gold Coast will be much quicker with new work on the Pacific Motorway. The Gateway Merge is being upgraded to improve traffic flow.
It's one of Queensland's busiest bottlenecks. But when the upgrade is complete, in 2 years, the Pacific Motorway will have 3 extra southbound lanes. As well, there'll be a new 4-lane bridge on a realigned Underwood Road and more bus access.
This is going to mean better travel times for families and commuters living in this area.
More than 140,000 vehicles use the road daily, including 12,000 trucks. And that number is expected to grow.
What this means is that we'll be able to get people home sooner to their families, we'll see more productivity in our local businesses, and as one of the most significant freight routes being expanded to the widest section of the M1 in southeast Queensland.
This upgrade is the first of 3 along the M1 between Brisbane and the border.
Work from home or as close to home as I can so I don't have to deal with the traffic through the peak hours especially.
It's absolutely fabulous. It could not be.
The Premier says the upgrade will create 131 jobs. The project is expected to cost $180 million, with the federal government committing to 60% and the state government providing the rest. Drivers are urged to take care around the area as construction continues. Holly Parkinson, QUT News.
The lives of 20 young people with disabilities is improving. They're about to move into a purpose-built housing project in Brisbane.
The Lord Mayor did the honours, officially opening up a much-needed facility in Mitchelton. These 2 houses and 4 villas will soon be home to young people with disabilities. It'll enable the 20 residents to live independently.
Everyone in this city has a journey and life, and those lives can be very varied.
The housing project fills a gap that exists for those with a disability, boosting life skills and improving personal development.
They were largely displaced people. They were living rough and never ever in their life have they felt safe and secure, and it took quite a while for them to be convinced it's actually their home.
The residents are excited about the prospect of forming long-lasting friendships. These housing projects will dramatically improve the lives of residents just like Melinda and Mary as they learn to live independently of their families.
Yeah, it's good, very good, and I love it.
And these homes will make a permanent difference to the lives of many families and ensure that the residents have an access to a lifestyle and the community spirit as well that we all just take for granted.
For these young people, there's no place like home. Kayla Ratton, QUT News.
Victorian police are investigating a photo of a topless woman wearing a Richmond Premiership medal. It was apparently taken by a player at a party after their grand final win and distributed by text. The woman allegedly consented to the photograph but was told it was then deleted. She's made an official complaint. The player has not been named.
The wife of Harvey Weinstein has announced she is leaving the disgraced producer. She's condemned his alleged sexual harassment amid new allegations.
2 more actors have joined the chorus of criticism against Harvey Weinstein. Gwyneth Paltrow and Angelina Jolie say they too were harassed by the director. Women's rights activists back their stance.
And I'm glad that they have both made statements about this, and I'm glad that Meryl Streep did, and Judi Dench, and anyone else, because women's voices matter.
And now his wife Georgina Chapman has left him, saying she wants to concentrate on the kids. Weinstein has already been fired from his own company, with a secretly recorded tape, the latest indictment.
Yesterday was kind of aggressive for me. I need to know a person to be touched.
I won't do a thing.
The conversation reportedly took place in a New York hotel.
Don't embarrass me in the hotel. I'm here all the time.
I
Sit
know,
with me,
but
I
I don't
promise.
want to.
Please sit there. Please. 1 minute.
No,
I
I
ask
can't.
you.
Former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has also denounced the Hollywood director in a statement on Twitter. She says she's appalled. Weinstein has donated more than $1.4 million to the Democratic Party since 1992. Charlotte Hartshorn, QUT News.
Vision of a Sydney real estate agent wrestling a shark from a saltwater pool has gone viral. The woman was filmed swimming at Cronulla's rock pool before spotting the stranded animal. She follows it, wraps her arms around it and hoists it back into the ocean. The species of shark has not been identified, but clearly it was one of the quieter types.
Looking again at our main story, the devastating toll of American wildfires.
And still to come, Catalans delay its declaration of independence from Spain. The Catalan president has signed a document declaring Catalonia's independence, but he wants more negotiation with Spain before putting it into effect.
The Spanish government has condemned Catalan President Carles Puigdemont's choice to sign a declaration of independence. The 1st of October referendum was dismissed as invalid and illegal by the Spanish Constitutional Court. But in a surprise move, President Puigdemont postponed formally declaring independence to allow for discussions with Spain.
Diálogo entre demócratas se hace dentro de la ley.
The Spanish Deputy Prime Minister says any dialogue has to respect the rules of the game and not invent them for their own advantage. Catalan independence supporters have praised the move as a prudent decision.
Fantastic.
This Catalonian resident says the cautious statement is a fantastic step in achieving the end of Catalans' journey by achieving independence. Those who have pledged support are unfazed by the wait.
From Omnium cultural point of view, we are very proud of this government. We are completely sure that during the next couple of days we will know exactly the dates for this validation.
The Spanish government will meet tomorrow to consider their response to the declaration. Charlotte Hartshorn, QUT News.
Scotland's leader is also talking about independence. Nicola Sturgeon says when Britain leaves the European Union, Scotland should be able to control its own destiny.
Addressing her Scottish National Party, Nicola Sturgeon stressed the integrity of Scotland's right to choose, and says Brexit has further solidified the matter.
As I have always said, Scotland should have the right to choose our future when the terms of Brexit are clear. We have a mandate to give people that choice, and that mandate was won fairly and squarely.
And she stressed the country needs full control of its future.
This is the time to put ourselves firmly in the driving seat of our own destiny. That is what the people of Scotland deserve. Conference, that is what we will deliver.
Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Theresa May is closing in on an agreement with members of the European Union.
We are focusing all our effort on getting a good deal. We're very close to agreement on citizens' rights. We've gone into some of the complexities around some of the issues that we need to address.
Despite not wanting Britain to leave the European Union, May has now focused her efforts on making the best deal possible before Brexit becomes effective in 2 years' time.
We are going to deliver on the vote of the British people, and we're going to deliver Brexit.
Okay.
29th of March 2019, we come out of the European Union.
Zach Adkins, QUT News.
Thousands of public servants have protested new labour reforms in France. For the first time in a decade, the nation's 9 main unions joined forces. They represent 5 million workers, and there were strikes in some schools, hospitals and airports. President Macron plans to cull 120,000 public sector jobs and freeze pay.
Kenyans are heading back to the polls. The Supreme Court declared the August election invalid, but now there's only one candidate because the opposition leader has pulled out.
Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga has withdrawn just 2 weeks before the presidential election rerun. Odinga remained resilient despite pledging that he wouldn't take part in the vote unless independent reforms were made by the Electoral Commission.
We shall not allow anything to dampen our morale. We want the battle for multi-party democracy.
Last month, Kenya's Supreme Court voided the August presidential poll due to irregularities in the voting process. President Uhuru Kenyatta has vowed to continue with the country's election despite being the only candidate. Both announcements have intensified Kenya's political instability, sparking concern throughout local communities.
There's high likelihood of having violence in the sense that there's call about political instability or a political conflict.
The election rerun is due to be held on October 26. James Ives, QUT News.
Astronauts on board the International Space Station have completed their second spacewalk in 5 days. NASA astronauts Mark Van der Hey and Randy Bresnik completed maintenance on the orbiting outpost and replaced a faulty camera system. Running ahead of schedule, the astronauts also completed several tasks planned for Thursday. The 6.5-hour walk was Bresnik's fourth and Van der Hey's second spacewalk.
The Duchess of Cambridge has made her first public appearance since the announcement of her third pregnancy. She attended a World Mental Health Day event with husband Prince William and his brother Harry. Kate wore a lace dress for the event and appeared in good health. Last month, the royal couple announced they were expecting again after Kate experienced morning sickness.
The 10th Brisbane International Tennis Tournament has unveiled 2 of its stars. One is a notorious bad boy, the other a local who's shooting up the women's ranks.
Young gun Ash Barty will be looking to maintain her recent stellar form when she returns to Brisbane in January. The Queenslander says she's looking forward to playing in front of her home crowd.
I know that the players genuinely love coming here. For me, this will always be a stop on my calendar. It's my backyard and I really love playing on this court and in this arena.
The 21-year-old says beating 4 top 10 players this year has helped instill belief.
Yeah, obviously this year for me has been my best year and I'm excited to come back to Brisbane again. This is where it all started for me in my season in 2017. So it's really exciting to come back with a lot of confidence and hopefully we can have another good start.
Nick Kyrgios will be hoping a potential suspension doesn't keep him from playing in Brisbane. The volatile Australian sensationally quit his first-round match at the Shanghai Masters overnight. Brisbane International Tournament Director Jeff Quinn is hopeful Kyrgios won't disappoint.
I've got genuine enthusiasm and excitement to have him here. I can't wait for him to come. I know the fans are going to come out to see him play and to see his incredible and special brand of tennis.
But at least one of the local hopefuls has already begun winning over fans.
Tickets go on sale today, starting at $21 for a ground pass. Fans can expect to pay up to $200 for a ticket to the men's and women's final. Andy Strudwick, QUT News.
Socceroos coach Ange Postecoglou is quitting before the World Cup despite a win over Syria. He's been criticised for the team's poor qualifying performances.
It was a nail-biter. The vintage Tim Cahill scored twice for the Aussies, the final goal giving them a 2-1 advantage in extra time. Syria were reduced to 10 men and outnumbered. The Socceroos are a step closer to the World Cup, but still have to beat Honduras next to advance. It's been a rough ride so far, with several poor performances against what were thought to be weaker countries. Now coach Ange Postecoglou says he will quit in November, whether the Aussies reach the Cup or not.
We left it late and we had, like I said, had to work awfully hard, but I think we deserved to get through and the players showed tremendous character.
The Socceroos will play 2 crucial games against Honduras, the 4th best team in the North and Central America Conference. Tom Copley, QUT News.
Now, another in our special series on the Commonwealth Games, and this time a look at the perceived boost to facilities and tourism. Does the hype actually stack up?
In Brisbane's southern suburbs, 80 kilometres from what will be the heart of Commonwealth Games action, are world-class sporting facilities that couldn't be overlooked by event organisers. The prospect of hosting cycling and shooting has the electorate of Chatsworth buzzing.
Look, I think the city of Chatsworth is no different to the rest of Queensland. I think there's a real excitement now that the Commonwealth Games is only a matter of months away.
An early legacy is the brand new $59 million Anna Meares Velodrome, constructed with the future of Queensland sport in mind.
And I think for Queensland, having our first indoor velodrome and a track that is going to be positive for all our juniors and our aspiring athletes coming through to train on and build some confidence to compete on.
The velodrome will be doubled in size to a seating capacity of 3,000 by next year, with the potential to hold an Olympic audience of 5,000. With broadcast quality lighting and the ability to host other events, the venue has the potential to make Chatsworth a sporting mecca.
When you're putting on a games, that legacy outcome's key, and there's teams that are directly working on that piece and ensuring that all the facilities built for the Com Games, are supporting that piece.
That legacy outcome is already starting to take shape.
I think a real key indicator of success is about participation. So I think we're already seeing numbers of just use of the velodrome compared to the outdoor velodrome double.
Just down the road from the velodrome is the Belmont Rifle Range, home to Commonwealth Games shooting events.
And it's probably the best clay target shooting range in the world.
The state government's $3 million investment ensures the range now boasts 15 machines and a reduced environmental impact by collecting and recycling the shot. Despite the measures taken to ensure longevity, there is a dark cloud hanging over its future.
That this facility is actually earmarked for demolition after the Commonwealth Games. That is just lunacy to spend nearly $3 million on the best facility in the world to only then knock it down.
With the new Anna Meares Velodrome and the upgrades to Belmont, Chatsworth has all the ammunition it needs to make sure the games go off with a bang. Ben Downey, QUT News.
The weather details are next with Lily Greer.
And one man's quest to run an Antarctic marathon.
Hello, time for the weather. Today, grey clouds cover the city from the early morning with storms and patchy rain all around the state. Looking at the southeast, and light showers have been hovering around Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast, reached a max of 27. 25 for the Gold Coast and 28 for Ipswich. If you're travelling interstate tomorrow, take an umbrella to Sydney and Canberra. Cloudy in Adelaide and showers clearing in Melbourne. A shower or two for Hobart, but a sunny day for Perth, and cloudy with a top of 35 for Darwin. Back in Queensland now, and while it will be sunny in Cairns, there'll be cloud coverage around Townsville, Mackay and Rockhampton, and temperatures in the 30s. Forecasters say Mount Isa might get a shower, but it'll be hot at 39 degrees, and Longreach residents won't be much cooler. A shower or two developing on the coast at Bundaberg. On Moreton Bay, winds will be northerly at 10 to 15 knots with seas below 1 metre. The sun will set at 5:53 tomorrow evening. Both the Gold and Sunshine Coast are going to get some showers, keeping the temperature to 24 south of Brisbane, but warmer at 27 to the north. Back home at Brisbane, and showers will hang around for most of the week with a top of 26 on Thursday. 27 for Friday and a bit cooler heading into the weekend. That's the weather for now. Back to you, Deon.
Thanks, Lily. Queenslanders have been feeling the heat this week, but one Brisbane marathon runner has been cool as an ice block.
He's a man who loves tackling adversity, but his next destination will prove the ultimate test. Carlo Tonini is training for an extreme event, the Antarctic Ice Marathon. Competitors face a treacherous running surface, minus 20-degree temperatures and powerful winds.
Naturally down here today, hopefully I'll get a feel for what it's like to run in a bit cooler temperatures.
Carlo has already competed on 6 continents and wants to join the prestigious 7 Continents Marathon Club. There are only 154 members.
Carlos is using his marathon adventures to raise much-needed funds for cancer research, and so far has raised an astonishing $118,000.
He started up what's called the world's biggest dinner.
In its first inaugural year, we had 55 registered dinners, 8 countries got involved, and we raised just shy of $75,000. So I'm hoping year on year that the world's biggest dinner concept grows.
The next dinner event will be held in Brisbane in November, and an ice skating Olympic hero is joining in.
I'll be the guest speaker at the event, and Duncan Armstrong, Olympic swimming legend, will be the MC. So there'll be a lot of Olympic banter happening there, and hopefully a whole heap of funds raised for Cure Cancer.
You can register to host a dinner at worldsbiggestdinner.com. Elise Donaldson, QUT News.
That brings you up to date with QUT News. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.